Camera rolls in 5, 4.
Hello, whiskey lovers around the world. I'm here at Maltstock version 2010, and I'm going to interview this gentleman, Ashok, and I can't pronounce your name, Chokalingam. Okay, and Mr. Chokalingam is the brand ambassador for Amrut, this beautiful Indian distillery, and he was telling us today it's from the middle of India. Now, is it okay to call you Ashok?
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
Ashok, now how long have you been the brand ambassador of...
I've been working for Amrut Distilleries since 2004, ever since we have launched our single malt whiskey in the global markets.
Yes, and so a lot of people consider whiskey to be either Irish or Scottish or even Japanese, and it's new to many people, new to many of you guys, that there really is very good whiskey made in India. Now tell us a little bit about your whiskey. It's always bottled young. Could you maybe tell us why it's always bottled relatively young?
Right, it's well, if you talk about the age statement on the label and the bottle, yes, it is a young. But what you have to look at the end of the day is basically how much are you paying for, and then what you expect out of your whiskey. Now, although it is young in the Indian condition, but it's no way young when you taste the whiskey or how the whiskey is basically mature. We are making and perhaps maturing the whiskey in completely different environment as compared to perhaps Scotland or even Ireland. We are talking about somewhere between 30 to 40 degrees in summer, and in the winter still 25-30 degrees in the daytime. So the whiskey is going to be mature far more faster than how it's been matured in Scotland.
Because of the heat.
Because of the heat as well as the humidity. The humidity in Bangalore is very dry. So as a result, what happens is basically the ethanol concentration goes up inside the cask, yes, and what you have is basically a kind of accelerated maturation profile. But don't forget the fact that although we get our whiskey at a kind of bottling stage in a span of 5 years' time, we lose close to half the barrel of the whiskey to the angels.
In 5 years?
In 5 years, half the barrel, because the average maturation loss is 10 to 12%.
So if you had a 10-year-old whiskey, it would be gone?
Nothing will be there.
It would be all gone because of the heat?
Yeah, so in fact, we have bottled the oldest whiskey from our distillery, which is 7 years and 7 years and 3 months on the barrel. It's a 2 barrels that we have bottled together as a double cask. We have basically lost 60% of the whiskey from the cask. It's only 40% left. But when we gave the whiskey to many people as a blind whiskey, everybody thought it was from a space age and perhaps 20 to 25 years old. Yeah. There you go.
And I tasted some lovely stuff today. I also even tasted your peated expression. And my favourite of the day was your cask strength regular Amrut.
Yeah.
I really liked it a lot. And although it was cask strength, I found that it went down the palate very easy, and it was full of sugars and honey and vanilla, and had a lovely taste to it.
Yeah, that's what it is. The one that you have liked is basically 100% made from barley grown in the northern part of India, and it's basically matured in a ex-bourbon cask for close to 5 to 6 years, yeah, and that's what you got.
Okay, but one last question. Many people consider the maturation of whiskey to do with breathing out, but also breathing in. But how does it breathe in if it's so hot? It's going out all the time, is it not?
No, it's basically what you're talking about is the oxidation of the new make spirit inside the cask, which in turn turn out to be a whiskey. Now, what happens in Bangalore is because the temperature is so high, the maturation loss is so high. On the same side of the other factories, basically you get more oxygen drifted in because you have empty space getting up as you progress along.
Yes.
So that means you get more oxygen into the cask and get oxidized. That's why you have that accelerated maturation profile. It's not basically you are heating up the cask or anything. It's happening in a very natural way. Yeah. It's basically like I used to tell people, Scotland is a gifted country by God because it's such natural and wonderful. Similarly, we are a good country because it's so warm and hot, we can turn around everything in 5 to 6 years time.
Okay.
And that's how I take it.
All right. And tell us just one last time, how many cases of whiskey gets bought in India every year?
If you talk about whiskey, in our distillery, we bottle about 1.5 million cases. But if you talk about single malt, probably about 3-4% of that. And that's it. Because a single malt whiskey is very specialized, and we mainly focus on the global markets. And we just started to sell Amrut single malt whiskey in India, in Bangalore, after 5 years of launching it on the global markets because of the domestic demand. More people wanted to try Amrut now because of its popularity on the global market.
Well, thank you very much for bringing it, and thank you very much for sharing it with us and with your information as well. We'll have it on the blog by next week, and I'm sure that people will be very interested to hear about it and maybe interested to buy it.
Yeah, you got to give me, all I can say is basically you got to give a try for everything that you can find in the world, irrespective of where it comes from. Once you taste it without any preconception, and then you decide whether you like it or not. You don't have any prejudice or preconception because it's coming from some X, Y, Z places. That's all I can say. Thank you very much.
And thank you.
Thank you very much.
And to you folks, till the next time, Slan Shiva. Yeah.
Let me roll the bottles as well. Might come in handy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.